Hello and welcome. Today we are going to create a block using the InnerBlocks method. So what does that mean? It means we're going to make a block for WordPress, but what we're going to do is not write any sort of custom components inside and really write much code at all. We're actually just going to use existing core blocks and stack them together to make our own block. It's a really great way to throw something together kind of quickly where you don't need custom components. Maybe you just need a heading, an image, a paragraph, things that already exist in WordPress as blocks. You just want to package them in a certain way, and maybe making a block pattern isn't the best approach because you want to add some extra settings to it or some extra CSS that kind of comes bundled with it. So this sort of block made out of other InnerBlocks method is pretty quick to throw together and pretty flexible. So we're going to make a little design pattern that I've done in some sites recently, and so I think it's going to be a good example of how we make a block with an inner block. Let's start off here with this repo. What we're looking at is a block scaffolded plugin from the create block tool. So I ran npx/create block. It made a little plugin for me, and that has everything I need. It runs npm install, so you can see all my node modules sitting right here. It's got a source folder that it scaffolds out with all the stuff you need for a block. So I ran one command. All of this code was automatically generated, and I'm going to use it to create my block. So let's start by over in our terminal just running npm run start. So it's in our inner block folder. It's just going to run, just going to watch all the code and compile everything from our source folder to our build folder. The next thing that you'll need to do is enable the plugin in your WordPress installation. So make sure the plugin's turned on. Sometimes I forget that one and I can't find my block and I don't know why. So here we're just looking at the back end of a WordPress website. Essentially, this is where our block is going to sit in the column next to some text. As we put it together, you'll see it's a pattern that's pretty popular. So if I were to go and add the block here, example inner block, it's just that stock code that comes from the create block package, example inner block, hello from the editor in a nice blue box. So we're going to delete this and we're going to actually start building out our block in the code. Okay, so the first place we're going to start is with our Block.json file. There's actually not much we really need to do here. All I want to do is add another support for now. We might come back to this later. I just want to turn off alignment on my block. I don't really need full width alignment or anything like that. You'll notice that npm run start fails if you, God forbid, save your Block.json file with a mistake in it. It will just fail. So I will run npm run start again. I had a little trailing comma right here, so I apologize. npm run start. Oh, it's still mad at me. Oh, I didn't save it. Let me save my change. Let's run that again. Okay. So all I'm doing is turning off alignment in my block.json. Maybe I would probably want to change the name and all that sort of stuff because this does affect some things, but at this point, I think I'm okay to leave it. So here's our basic Edit.js file. This is where we saw that sort of paragraph with the blue background and the example text right here. I'm actually going to get rid of all this. I don't need any of this stuff. I do want to take my block props though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these here. I'm just going to save them as a variable, block props. And then I'm going to use a new function here that I'm going to import called use InnerBlocks props. So you'll see the S here. It's a little bit different than what you see there. So just keep an eye on that. So we're going to use InnerBlocks props. So you can see GitHub Copilot kind of knows where I'm going with this. The first thing I'm going to pass use InnerBlock props is our block props. So basically that's saying take the props, all the stuff that I have for my parent block and use that to generate the props that I need to show my inner blocks. So it's going to kind of combine that stuff together. And what's great is, with this approach, because we're doing a lot of this stuff here, what actually gets rendered is very clean HTML versus like a pattern where maybe you have to put it in a group and maybe you have to put that inside of another group, and that sort of thing. We're going to just trim this down to basically one sort of wrapping div, which is our block, and then the blocks right inside of it that we need. So the first thing that it's going to want is our little options here. So the first thing it's going to ask for is what blocks do we want allowed in here? So the example they give is the core paragraph. We're actually going to do the core image block. That's the only block that we want allowed. We don't want them to be able to insert their own blocks. We don't want them to be able to add other blocks. We just want images. This is going to be a wrapper block with only images inside of it. Next is the template parameter, which basically says when they insert our inner block, our example inner block, what should it look like first? And so they give you an example of an array with the first one being the core image. What I actually want is 2 core images, just like that. And then the last thing that you'll often want is to decide if you want to lock it or not. So what that means is this is going to be a block and it's going to have 2 images inside. But if I don't lock it, they could keep adding images. They could just, add more and more images inside of our parent block. And there's lots of situations where you would want to do that. There's lots of times where that's the kind of thing you're building where you want them to just be able to keep adding inside. In this particular case, we don't. We want them to only be able to put 2 blocks inside of this. So it's going to load, it's going to have 2 images in it, and then that's it. They kind of can't mess with it after that. So let's change this paragraph to a div, and then let's actually spread out our inner block props, which is not a function, but actually, there's our S, there we go. So what that's basically saying is it's going to return this div, and it's going to spread all of those props out, as class name and size, and all those attributes that kind of get stuck at the top of the div. So let's start there. We're going to save that, make sure we have no errors, make sure we've imported everything correctly. And that's really all you need for the Edit.js file. I mean, you just tell it what sort of blocks you want. You tell it what you want the template to look like. There's some other stuff you can kind of set here, but in this example, that's really it. Let's head over to the editor and see if it works. I haven't made the Save.js file, so it definitely won't save, but maybe we could actually see what it looks like a little bit in the editor. Okay, so we've reloaded our editor. Let's add, and boom. So here we go. You can see it's still got that blue background because that CSS is still there, but there's our smiley face. That's that kind of inner block, and inside 2 separate image blocks. So if I open the list view, you'll see here's our block, here's our 2 image blocks, and they're just locked. So you can't really move them. You can't add new ones. You can't get rid of them. They're just there, but they're full image blocks. So they have a lot of the settings that a normal image block would have, and it's all kind of sitting right there. So nothing's going to work now. It's not going to save or anything because we need to set up the Save.js file. But again, that's pretty easy to do. So let's head over and take a look at making sure that this saves properly. Okay, so we're over in our Save.js. There's a few kind of small things we need to do. Number 1 is we need to make sure our paragraph is a div. We can get rid of this. And what we actually want in here is our inner blocks. So let's start typing in inner blocks, and you see it already recommends it here, InnerBlocks.content. And that's going to basically take our content and spit it out from the inner blocks and save it. And, because it's a block, when it comes back and gets edited again, it's kind of got all the information it needs. So that should be good, except we actually need to import inner blocks. But yep, it's just a div with our blocks inside of it. I mean, that's really it. And so now that we have Edit.js and Save.js, we should at least be able to save our block, and then we can take a look at kind of styling it and like what we can do with something like this. Okay, so let's come over here. Let's add our example inner blocks. Let's click on the first image and add something. Got the nice moon. Let's go to our second image. Let's add something. Some more moon. We're gonna hit update here, and let's go check the front end. Okay, so here's the front end. Let's scroll down to the content area, and there we go. We got our 2 images put together. It basically treats it like one block. And we can even do a quick look at the code. So this is our block, the create block example inner block. So WP block kind of goes in front of it. Create block was in the Block.json file with the name of it. So there's that wrapper div that we've created. And then you'll look inside. These are just the 2 blocks. I mean, they come in figure elements is how they're put together in WordPress, but that's pretty much it. This is the only HTML we've really added on top of here is this right here. And because this is a custom class that's, scoped to the name of our block, we can use it to write some CSS and give this little inner block a design. So let's take a look at what we can do. Okay, so we're looking at the CSS. You can see that's that background color and everything that they add to it. We're going to get rid of that. What we're going to do is we're going to make this a relative position because we're going to do a little absolute positioning here. So we're going to target the figure element, which is basically the block. I could probably also say .wp block image. I could target that as well. Kind of doesn't matter. Let's see. So I have a few things I want to do here. Let's start with that caption. I'm just going to display none that for now because I just don't really want to see the captions. So we'll just hide those. Maybe I would consider doing it from an accessibility standpoint. We're basically removing them so the captions won't be read. If I do want the captions to be read, which I probably don't because the images should have alt text, but then I would do maybe more of like a visually hidden type of approach. So let's look at nth of type 1, basically the first image. And what I want to do with the first image is all I want to do is scale it down a little bit. So we're going to do transform scale 0.9. I'm just going to make the image a little bit smaller. The second image, what I want to do with the second image is I want to get it to absolute position and kind of like be a little offset from it. So we're going to do a position absolute. We're going to need that top 0 and left 0. And then we're going to transform, and we will also scale it down. I think the reason there is like when you're kind of overlaying images like that, it kind of helps to shrink them a little bit so you don't end up like covering content and stuff like that. So we're going to scale that one down, and then we're going to translate it. We're going to move it over. Not nearly that much. We'll just move it over a tiny bit for now, and we'll save that. That should be everything. Let's take a look and see if I missed anything. Okay, so here we are on the front end. I've refreshed it, and now you can start to see the effects of what we did. So here's our block. Here's our first one. You can see the scale down over here. It's been scaled. And then the second one, it's absolute positioned, and it's kind of scaled, and it's kind of stuck off to the side a little bit. I feel like that 10% is not quite enough. Let's just boost that up a little bit. Okay, so negative 20% each, save. Let's refresh. There we go. There we go. That's that nice effect, right? So you get to pick 2 images on the back end of WordPress, and then you come to the front end and you get this kind of cool effect. And so, whatever background image, it's kind of not meant to be seen, but, it adds a little bit of like a cool texture to it. You could even do 2 of the same image or something. I don't know. There's probably some cool ways people have used this pattern. But yeah, that's kind of gets it going. But let's take a look now that we've added our CSS at the back end of WordPress, because, when you do this kind of stuff, you always have to go back and say, okay, what does it look like when I try to edit this block now that I've done some kind of fancy styling? Okay, so I've refreshed WordPress. You can see we still have the dotted red line. That's comes from the create block package, which we need to fix. And then you can see here, you can select the images pretty well, actually. I'm actually not too unhappy with this. What happens if I make a new one? Let's just see. Yeah, is that, no, see how now it's covering this? That's not good. We don't want that, right? So let's do a little extra styling so that when a user is editing it, we just want it to just be easier to edit and not be covering. And then maybe when they're not editing it, it could look the way it's going to look on the front end. Okay, so when we want styles that only go for the block editor experience, that's in our editor.scss file. That's part of our block. So let's get rid of the dotted line. We don't need that. And we actually only want it when the block is selected, or, and this is kind of an important one, if the block has child selected, because we're dealing with blocks inside of blocks, and whether they're focused on the kind of wrapper block or if they're focused on either of the images, that's the time we want to apply the CSS. And so we really want to make sure that we're scoping it to that, and we don't need that. What I want to do here is I basically want, when we're editing the block or editing the blocks inside, I just want it to be position relative. I don't want that absolute position. And then, you know what? Let's do this. Display grid, and we'll do 2 columns. So when I'm in there and I'm editing, just put the images next to each other. Don't overlap them. No absolute positioned. And actually, let's get rid of the scale too. Let's get rid of the moving it around, any of that stuff. Just put them right next to each other. A grid, 2 columns, regular position, regular size. Okay, so we'll save that. Let's go back to the editor. Okay, I've reloaded the editor and we have our block. We'll definitely have to deal with this too, I think, but let's go to edit it and boom, they're right next to each other. No, nothing weird. They're not hard to get to. I've selected the image, but even if I select the parent, the kind of wrapper for both of them, that works well too. So all of that's pretty good. And then I come back over here and boom, they look good. So little editor styles right there. They won't be applied on the front end. No CSS loading on the front end. It's just on the back end. Perfect. So there's probably a few things that I would want to keep going on this, but let's do one more thing. Let's figure out how do we deal with this situation, because, you know, that obviously looks a little funky. What if I want to do some spacing or something like that? So let's go back to our block and let's add some features to it. So we're in our block.json. We're going to add a spacing option, and we're just going to do, let's just take margin and turn it true. And don't add that comma because it'll break my npm run start. And save, everything's good. Okay, so what is this going to do? It's going to turn on the spacing features for that parent block. That's, you know, built into WordPress. As far as we know, it shouldn't require us to do any code, anything like that. We should be able to just turn on a support and use it. So let's see what else we can do, or let's see if it works. Okay, so I've reloaded the page. So when I click, I often am selecting the image itself, which, you know, has all of the stuff that images have. You know, for example, you have your styles and things like that. That's pretty cool. But if I go now to the parent block, there we go. Now we have some dimensions options here that we've turned on. So I guess that means top and bottom. Let's find out. Oh, yep. All right, so let's turn on the margins for the top and bottom. Let's add like a big fat margin like that. There we go. So it's added a little space to the top and bottom. That'll probably also be nice in case the content stacks. You know, you kind of want that little space here. I could hard code it. I could set it as a default in the block. There's all sorts of options, but really I kind of just like having the setting turned on and just letting the user be able to kind of control that. Because, you know, sometimes you get that situation where they actually want that overlap. They want that kind of effect. So it's kind of nice to just use the core features to set that up. But yeah, that's essentially our block. You know, because it's a block, there's so many more things you could do. For example, in the image blocks, I can turn on block styles, right? And I could say, okay, make both of them round so that they have a cool kind of circle effect. But, you know, block styles aren't just limited to what's here in our block.json file. We could actually define styles for the parent block. So I've done examples where I add a style that reverses which image is in front and which one's in back, or a style that lets you, you know, change which direction the effect goes, or something like that. A setting to add shadows, all those sorts of things. So you can turn on block styles in your block.json file, and then all you have to do is write the CSS in here to support it, and it'll be scoped to your block perfectly. So that's a quick little walkthrough of using InnerBlocks to take multiple blocks, put them together, and make something new. What I really like about it is I spend almost no time writing JavaScript. I have, you know, one or two repos like this. In fact, I'll probably use this repo in the future as like a reference point, but you really just need to kind of make these few updates to edit and save, decide what blocks you need, decide what template is going to look like, and beyond that, it's just writing a lot of CSS and getting to, you know, push the boundaries of that, and then always end with a little review of what it feels like to edit your block and make sure that that process feels good and smooth for your user. But yeah, if you have any questions, post them in the comments below, and the full code for this will be available as a link below.